An update now. Quaker Oats says it will drop its Aunt Jemima brand of syrup and pancakes, recognizing its name and image has its origins in racial stereotypes. The brand has existed for more than 130 years, and while the image of Aunt Jemima has been modernized over time, the company now says those changes weren't enough. Uncle Ben's parent company says that rice brand will also be phased out.
Syracuse, New York, and a short Harrington is buried in Oakwood Cemetery in Syracuse, gaining notoriety before her death in 1955 for portraying Aunt Jemima for Quaker Oats for 14 years. She moved to Nedrow, New York, in the 1920s from South Carolina. Harrington worked as a maid for a white family in the area and later as a cook for Syracuse University fraternities. As the story goes, members of the SU fraternities loved Harrington's pancakes. This led to her demonstrating her pancake recipe at the New York State Fair. It was there that a representative from Quaker Oats hired her to portray Aunt Jemima. Harrington gained fame and fortune working as Aunt Jemima, and was likely an important figure in the Syracuse black community at the time. Harrington owned a 22-room house on Monroe Avenue, which she operated as a boarding house. Her house, along with many others in the city's 15th Ward, would be lost to urban renewal development and the construction of Interstate 81 in the 1960s. Quaker Oats announced on Wednesday that they are removing the image and branding of Aunt Jemima from their products. The character Harrington had played has racist origins, influenced by mammy characters featured in blackface minstrel shows in the late 1800s. The first person to play Aunt Jemima was Nancy Green, who was born into slavery in the early 1800s. According to historians, a man who helped run Quaker Oats at the time was influenced by watching a blackface minstrel show, seeing the potential in using the mammy image for marketing purposes. Quaker Oats began production of Aunt Jemima pancake mix in the 1880s. Green would then be hired to portray Aunt Jemima. Part of Harrington's marketability in becoming Aunt Jemima, following Green's death, was that she had a Southern accent. As a native of South Carolina, Aunt Jemima is part of a larger debate surrounding the place of images and symbols that persist in our culture today, ranging from food brands to sports teams to statues of historical figures. It is important to understand the history and pain they can cause, according to Dr. Richardson. Quaker Oats has announced that Aunt Jemima imagery and branding will be removed from all products by the end of the year.